Here it is. This is what we're going to talk about. The territory. What territory did you walk into? Is this territory made of love and kindness? Or is a territory, if everybody around them create this chaos with no peace in it, you're being in a territory. The territory of language. Listen, you're finding yourself that you're being placed that you put yourself in a place that, can I be real with you, that you might find yourself in a place that where they don't believe like you believe.
Right. Absolutely.
They don't trust they don't love God like you love God, or they don't respect people like you respect people. So you'll find yourself walking in a territory full of mess. Let me tell you, my brother said you can't lay down with snakes and expect to get up.
Hello.
You cannot lay down with snakes and expect to get back up without being bitten.
Absolutely.
And after you've been bitten a while, guess what happens to you? You become delusional. You become, oh my goodness. Now you become hypnotized in this situation. Well, then you have to start saying, I am going to neglect and reject my own self so I can stay in something that's going to break me.
Wow. Say that again. Say that last part again.
That you have found yourself being in something so detrimental that you have now found yourself that you neglect and you reject your own self.
Wow.
That you can't even see your worth no more because of the toxicity and the venom that's been placed in you. There's this book that talks about, has a Jezebel spirit, right? There's this book that has like this heart, and there's this snake that's wrapped around the heart.
Okay.
And the heart was breaking. So you got to ask yourself, what serpent? Come on, Eve.
Okay.
What serpent is giving you delusions and deceiving you? So when you walk into these things, the thing that the enemy said, this is what the enemy does. He's a deceiver. He's a liar, and guess what else he does? He's gonna sit around and condemn you. And now you're sitting there chasing after something that's toxic, and you try your best to try to convince them how much you're trying to save it, and you breaking yourself.
Hello, drinking the poison that's killing you.
Oh my goodness, quit turning it over. You taking shots of it. And so root of this whole situation is, how did I get there? How did I fall in the pit?
Right.
You have to ask yourself this question. Yeah. I just had this conversation. So I've been having this conversation, and you're like, okay, well, you going out here dating, you're on the dating apps, you doing your thing, and you started speaking to someone, and you have to listen. Don't listen with your eyes. Listen with your heart. And then other thing is, don't allow yourself to, when you wake up in the morning, you're a queen, right? So you start speaking that I'm a queen. Yes. I'm here to help, not to get torn down. So when you walk into it, you have to understand, listen, if it start talking to you crazy, ask yourself, do you want to deal with this every day?
Right.
When you start getting cussed out, do you want to deal with this every day? Now, let me tell y'all, ladies and gentlemen as well, ladies first, that there is good men out there that are praying for you, that are praying for you, not praying on you. He's waiting for you, right? But not praying on you.
Absolutely.
That means they're listening to you.
Yes.
Instead of saying, I want you, with your curves and stuff.
Right.
So that's the thing about this whole thing, is that, do you recognize that it's toxic? You say you want a good man, but he in the club, he in a strip club every week. You say you gotta be real with yourself.
Be real with yourself.
Let me tell you something. I'm gonna say it even to this point. I've seen it, and I've talked to women about it, and they were treated. This is the level. God, I thank you. The level of a man that would treat them at the lowest level. They don't recognize that a man can elevate a woman just like a woman can elevate a man. Right.
Absolutely.
So you become. People don't understand when you get in a relationship, you become that person.
Yes. Yes.
Because you're catering. Oh my God, that's strong right here. You're catering to their imagination.
Right.
That messed me up right there. I don't know about y'all today, but I'm getting happy. So you got to ask this, ladies and gentlemen, is that what imagination are you catering to?
Hello.
Are you catering to his father that used to be drunk with his mom? Who are you catering to? What imagination are you catering to? That he's thinking success is a lot of things that he got, but not just knowing that the love that he has in his heart. I was just having this conversation. It's not about the Mercedes he's driving, it's the man in the Mercedes.
That's exactly what it's about.
So if he don't know how to pay the bill, or he don't know how to pay the home, or if he doesn't know how to sit down and just read his word, that's if he knows how to do that, then you know who you're catering to. If he doesn't know how to respect you,
absolutely,
you got to understand that that's the way it's typically you grow into that, and then you find yourself a year down the line, you still catering to the same thing, and then you find yourself second year and the third year.
Right.
But like I said, the same platform of how to get out of toxic, to retrieve from a toxic relationship. Sometimes we sit in it because God wanted you to see who you are and the value that you carry.
Absolutely. And it's funny that you said that, because that's actually a segue to my next question. I was going to ask you to elaborate on what you just said is like, how do you feel that God uses these relationships? Because you and I both know that everything the devil uses for bad, God in turn uses it for good. And I know how it's been in my personal experiences and many of those that I've conversed with, many of my clients. But what is your opinion, being a pastor, like, how does God use these relationships to really grow us? Like, there's people out there that are hurting and they're like, I don't understand why God would place me in this relationship with this Jezebel. I don't understand why God would place me in this relationship with this man who's treating me so wrong.
Well, I'm going to say this, maturity.
Okay.
This is what the Lord said to me. He said that we're so spiritually blinded. Now, I'm not talking about blinded with your eyes and what you hear, but what your mature thought. What God is saying is to you is that the whole time that things, here it is, you over here doing everything that you can for this person, and they're mistreating you, they're hindering you, they're telling you that you're not good enough, they'll switch you out every 5 seconds, you're always breaking up, y'all going through all these toxic situations. Now you find yourself, God is sitting here, you're ignoring it, but here it is, God is talking to you, but are you listening?
Hello.
See, you hear him, but are you listening? You hear him saying that this is hurting you.
Wow.
You hear him that he's saying that you're now becoming confused. It's starting to mess with your mindset. You're now finding yourself not listening, but just hearing God. But God is sitting here saying to you, I'm maturing you in this moment. So let me say this. When you find yourself that you neglect your whole being of who you are, do you know people get rid of themselves because they couldn't accomplish the goal of a person that don't know themselves.
Wow.
They don't switch up relationships like a lot. They don't find themselves saying this is not good. Here it is. When you're dealing with something that's toxic, it'll never be enough for them. You can treat them good, but it's never enough.
Never.
You can look good, have a little bit of muscles, but it's never. I need more. I need more, because here it is. If I get more, I feel like I'm doing better, but not really understanding it's your mature value. You value each other when you grow. But when you're in a toxic relationship, you find yourself pouring more into them instead of them pouring back. That's how, God, this is so good.
Yes.
That's how trees and plants and flowers die. because it's not getting poured into. Imagine being with someone for 30 years and all you seen your well is drying up, but they done got filled up. And guess what? They fed off of you and went to the next thing because you got dried up. They don't even hear you no more because of the toxicity of it. So, but I'm going to tell you today, sisters and brothers, that you have to start pouring into yourself and start telling yourself, look, I'm a king and I know my authority and my rights. You have to start telling yourself, Queen, I know who I have to know who I am. Don't lose sight of who you are, because blindness, oh gosh, the drunk goggles is messing you up.
Yeah.
You hear the Lord, you listen to him, but you heard him, but you have to start reacting what you listen to. Here it is. 2 things I want to give you. Is God gave you a command, and when he gives you a command to move, you and the second thing is to obey. How do you obey something that's breaking you and instead of something that's trying to save you and heal you? And if they don't, here it is. If you walk in it and they don't have a relationship with God on that level, how do I pour into someone that don't want to be poured into?
Absolutely.
You at church and they at the strip club.
Right.
Yeah, and they making excuses and it doesn't, you gotta be real with yourself.
Right.
How do you find yourself being so blinded? I'm telling you, that is here it is. When you start ignoring these, people treat you because you let them treat you that way.
That's it.
So you start ignoring the actual facts.
Right.
And the truth. The truth is not you getting cussed out. The truth is not him putting his hands on you. The truth is that there should not be nothing hidden.
Right.
Put it all on the table. The truth is that you're sitting down and actually having this conversation and building each other up. How do you build? Thank you, Lord. How do you build someone up when they don't give you access?
Right.
And they open up these walls to tell you that you can't enter in. And I was speaking to you about this, Coach T, is that rejection takes a big major part, because people that love real hard, they don't want to be rejected. Go back and try to fix it over and over again. That's why you see people that get abused, they go back 7 times. That's why when you see somebody has been abused, they treat you like the abuser that was abusing them that abused the other person. So now you're going through the cycle of 5 other men or 5 other women of that same cycle that you've been going through. Absolutely. Because it was never good enough.
Absolutely. That you know what? I told y'all this man was powerful now. Now y'all thought it was a joke. I told y'all I had something.
Ooh, I'm getting happy up in here.
I felt that in my soul. Okay. I hope you listeners out there are taking notes. Okay. Because this man moves through the Holy Spirit. So you got to catch it when you catch it. You might have to replay. You touched on quite a few, so many points that I can't even name, but you've touched on so many points that really, really help identify why a person stays in a relationship like that, but also the benefits of letting go. Yeah, and anybody who's listened to my podcast before, you guys know I talk a lot about soul ties, and I definitely want you to touch on soul ties, and especially more so demonic soul ties, right? Because a lot of people get soulmate and soul ties mixed up. Now, I think it's important for us to acknowledge that, because a lot of times you running back to the very place that God continuously delivers you from, right? Yeah. But you keep running back into it. Right. And a lot of times you don't even know, because you cannot break free from these toxic relationships until you first understand what it is that in you that's drawing you to them. And like I was saying previously, sometimes it's on a spiritual level. Understand that these demonic soul ties are there to stop you from reaching your destiny. What's your take on breaking these demonic soul ties within? Like, what's your take on that?
So first of all, when you have demonic soul ties, you got to remember, we have soul ties with our children. We have soul ties with situations. But if you have somebody, you got to remember,